All right, welcome to today's video. Today's gonna be a little different. I have never done a painting video. It's,
So he's gonna get me to do one.
because I don't think I've got anything really from what I do to really offer. There's a lot of how to paint stuff on the on YouTube already that you can use, but most of that's geared toward painting really detailed models. You have a lot of how to paint faces, how to paint eyes, all that kind of stuff. Good videos, but sometimes that can be a little daunting, especially when you got players who are just starting out into the hobby. What we've got here is I've seen Dave painting his Germans very efficiently, very quickly, and he can paint way faster than I can. And I've been getting faster, but nowhere near as fast as what Dave does. So what I wanted to do is let Dave have an opportunity to kind of showcase how he goes about painting his Germans. This will give you at least some idea of how you could approach painting, especially if you're just getting into it, so you can get your army painted up to at least where it looks decent on the table, because his does look good on the table, and you'll feel proud of what you've accomplished without having to be really good at painting. All right?
And
yeah,
it is nowhere. I mean, if you've watching this and seen my stuff, it is nowhere near historical. I don't paint historical. I do for speed to get it on the table.
Yeah. So the way he approaches it, though, you could probably use some historical colors to get closer to history. But again, what we're trying to show you is a easy way to get started painting, especially if you've never done it before, and get good results quickly on your armies, so that you're into the hobby, really enjoying it as fast as you can. And maybe you do want to, in the future, take your painting to the next level, because maybe you find out through this that you enjoy painting, unlike me. So I love building the models, not so much painting, and I love playing.
99% of the stuff of mine that you've seen on the table, he has built.
Yes, and he's done a good job of painting it. So the one thing I will say is I love building models, so when you see decals, markings on his Germans, those are mine. I decaled them because I love doing that.
I think I only got one thing that's decaled a Panzer IV.
The Stuka Goose as well.
Oh yeah, I haven't put that on the table yet, though.
That's true.
That doesn't count.
Okay, that's fair. All right. So with that, we'll go ahead and set up the paint station, and we'll kind of let Dave walk through how to go about painting his Germans in an easy, quick way to get good results. Okay, so we got the workstation set up, or the painting area. Yeah, more or less. Dave does his home, so being here at the studio is a little bit different, but yeah, we'll make do. All right, so what are the tools that you are going to need for this approach? Well, what's required and what's optional?
What's required? A paintbrush and paint.
What size brushes you use?
I know it's stupid, but I paint everything except for vehicles with a Army Painter detail brush.
Detail? What number is it? Oh, it's a detail.
I don't know.
So that's the.
I paint everything with that brush.
Here's the white.
It does not matter what it is. That's what brush I use.
Huh.
I have so much control with that brush. I know they're kind of crappy brushes. I blow through them. I blow through about 5 or 6 a year.
Okay.
Just because I do everything with that.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a big brush for big washes. That's what is this? This is a vehicle terrain. I use this more for washes just because I can load it up and just hit it all at once.
Right.
And the only other brush that I have is you can either do this, which is is this Army Paint or is it GW? This is Army Paint. A dry brush, just a small dry brush, because I don't really dry brush my vehicles that much. If I do, I will. If you don't have a dry brush, just get a crappy brush that you've blown out, and it's a perfect dry brush. So I bought both, just in case.
Okay. Yeah.
I do have the only other thing. I have a Psycho brush, which is.
That's extremely fine detailed.
And this one's even a little bit screwed up. So if I decide to do eyes on something, it's what I use it for.
Okay. We won't be doing eyes today unless Dave really feels inspired.
He's got eyes. He's not wearing his goggles.
Yeah. So. But you don't need to do eyes just to get the thing ready for a tabletop. So
no.
The way that we'll be able to do this is you can take Dave's process as far as you want, because he starts general and he gets more detail at the end. And you can basically cut it off at any point, and you'll have a nice looking model. Once you get the first few colors on, it is.
There's not really that many colors.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So okay. So you're using the small brush, the detail brush, yes, mostly, yes, and I see you've got a wet palette. That's not necessary. You just need to have something to put your paint on, though.
Wet palette, like we discussed earlier. This is.
Look how thick that is.
8-year-old paper plate.
That is a solid piece of paint.
I mainly use it now because I got this. I think it was for Christmas. So 5 months ago. So I'm still a little bit new with it, so I don't use it to its max potential. But
yeah, and this is definitely not an instructional video on how to use wet palettes. So if you want to learn how to use a wet palette, there's plenty of videos on the web for that. But this is just the way Dave's approaching his painting.
But this is mainly I just use it now for washes because you can't make a wash on a wet palette. I
Sure.
learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
I do have a friend of mine years ago 3D printed me a pair of handles, and this is just poster tack, so it doesn't really stick to the bottom of the model.
You could use a old 38mm camera or film container.
The other thing that I used to use before because he came over and he saw me painting with what I was painting. He's like, hold on a second, and like he went into his bag and he pulled out. He's like, here, take these. These will work better. I was like, they do work better. Spray can lids.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, spray can lids. Yeah, you're right. Any rattle cans, because they're all sized the same, really.
Pretty much.
The testers ones are a little bit smaller if you have smaller hands.
I use the Army Painter ones just because it's got that raised the color.
The raised piece in the middle, yeah.
So it works pretty well too. I still have models, even though I have 2 of these and there's models always stuck to these. I still have other models that are still stuck to those that work in progress.
Yeah, right.
So
it works.
Yeah. I have a lot of bad habits, so be aware of that. So if you watch somebody else's paint video and they're going to tell you that what I do and what they say to do, probably go more off what they say to, or just do it your own way.
Yeah. Remember, painting is taught in art class. Painting is an art, not a science. Okay, you can get the same effects with many different techniques. Some of them are easier than others, and of course, if you're trying to go for that master, painter golden demon for GW stuff, all that stuff. Okay, there's other videos out there for you, but if you don't know how to paint or haven't really, it's been a long time since you did, and you remember back to your high school days and the minis you painted then, and you wish you never saw those, you might be able to start here and with Dave's method, and we'll just see where it goes. All right, so essentially something to hold your figure with the poster tack on it.
You could use your hand, but
you'd be holding the base, yeah.
You'd be holding the base.
That's what I do, but it's not great. I have dropped minis that way a lot, so I don't recommend it.
I've dropped minis off of it. I've just dropped the whole thing. Like if I sneeze or something, it'll go flying off. Luckily, I have a carpeted floor at my house. So,
So small brush, a detail brush. It's definitely going to be smaller than a 1. It's probably a 0 or just under one of the first, like an aught 1 or one of those smaller brushes. That's it. And you're going to need some water to clean your brushes off with. Sometimes you're definitely going to need to clean it between paints. I suggest it again. It's an art. So let's go ahead and take a look at the paints.
Other things in regards to that, I know a lot of. This is the biggest no-no I probably do, and I know it's a no-no, and I still do it anyway. I don't, and I'm embarrassed to say this, I don't change my water out in between colors. Or if I'm using metallics if I switch back and forth between metallics and normal paint, I don't ever change my water out.
I don't either. I mean, it's water's to clean up.
The only time I add water to my cup, which that's not my normal cup. I didn't bring my normal cup's kind of a little embarrassing because it is caked in paint on the inside.
Yeah,
too.
So is mine.
And there's like weird stuff at the bottom of it that I've only seen a couple times. But the only time I ever add water to it is when it evaporates in the house.
Yes, me too. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. And it's for cleaning the brush off, not for applying stuff to the paint.
I've used washes though, just straight using that water straight.
I've never done that with washes.
Because it's like, I know I showed you a couple years ago. I don't think you've ever done it, but like to do like 5 o'clock, and I'll put
Mhm.
5 o'clock shadow
Oh.
on this guy.
Yeah.
My paint water at my house, I could probably just use that paint water straight as a
Oh,
wash and put
gosh.
5 o'clock shadow on something.
Oh,
And it
man.
looks fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I don't take it quite that far. I will sometimes use dirtied water to thin down a paint that I happen to have on the palette,
Yeah.
because what that does is it does introduce extra tones to it and makes the color just a little different than what's on the rest of the model. But again, it's art, not science. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the paints you're going to use, because that's, I think, where the speed comes in. All right, so let's, before we get into what paints to use, because the paints are really determined by the process itself. So in just kind of in a summary, kind of what are the steps you do?
With this, and I will say this batch of Germans, this is the new stuff that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out a way to do it faster than my old Germans.
Good. Okay.
So it's a completely, because before I would prime white and then go from there. These are primed gray. They're washed with a black, dark gray wash. And then I hit the helmets, and the boots. I don't even bother to look at, because I know this model might even have the covers on them.
Mm-hmm.
They're just all black. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because unless you're looking at it on the tape, like you get down and look at it, you don't know.
Right. Yeah.
And then I will make a light gray, not like super light. When we get to it, I'll show you about the consistency of the gray that I use, and then dry brush the whole thing. And then I'll pick out my flesh bits, which on these guys is not that much compared to some of the other stuff.
Yeah, it's just face, heads, hands, basically. That's it.
And then I will wash that with a flesh wash, just to put some details on it and not have to really do anything, because washes are talent in a bottle.
Yes.
And then I just the gun, just the wood of the gun, and then it's just picking out details. That's honestly probably what takes the longest, because I'm somewhat of a psychopath with details.
Yeah, he goes through a lot of details.
Because I figure if they put it on the models, throw some paint on
it. So that's the part of this procedure that you can kind of stop anywhere along the line, where where you've got it detailed enough. That's where you stop, because remember, it's your model. You do it your way. So you're to wait till you are satisfied with it. Okay, so with that process in mind, let's take a look at the paints. All right, so here's pretty much all the paints he's going to use. And don't get overwhelmed when you see all these. Dave will go through how he uses them.
And don't feel that you have to use the exact colors, because I don't know if Vallejo's making German gray anymore, since they switched.
Yes, they do.
To the different bottles. I haven't looked, because
yep.
We have a local Hobby Lobby that was for the longest time the only place you could get German gray.
Mm-hmm.
Because our local store couldn't get it, so I have I think 6 of these bottles. So I'm set for a while. I'm set for at least the Germans I got. So, and I know some of these paints probably aren't in production anymore, I think.
No, I think they are. They might be reformulated, but I don't think. Well, now maybe the Games Workshop ones might not be, but I don't see anything in the Vallejo side that isn't still in process, or still available. Yeah.
I usually don't buy I don't buy paint just to buy paint. I only buy paint when I need it, so I'm a little behind on stuff like that. So
that's okay. So which ones you got here? So let's start over here with the black and gray. Oh, this is the German gray.
German gray.
Okay, with a dead white.
Yes.
That's game color. That's both Vallejo.
Yep.
Then you have Vallejo. Which
Pale
one
flesh.
is that? Pale flesh. Okay.
Pale flesh.
And then Citadel's
Reichland Fresh Shade. Now that is the old formula for. I know the new stuff is it comes in a smaller bottle and it's thicker. So if you you can magically find old stuff, get the old stuff.
Okay.
The new stuff, I would suggest thinning it down, because it is almost like a paint in and of itself, where it's not a wash. And their new Nolo, I know their Nolo and their Reichland are like that, the Flesh Shade.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about their Agrax. I haven't.
Okay.
I have a bottle of their Agrax, but I haven't needed it for anything yet.
Okay. As an alternative, if you struggle with those, you could use either Vallejo's Sepia, which is their brown wash, or Army Painter's Flesh Wash. That should get pretty close.
Yeah,
but
I didn't even know Army Painter had a Flesh Wash. So.
Yeah. Or you can do Strong Tone too, but those washes will also work. But again, Dave uses Riekling Flesh. And honestly, I had a bunch of models I recently bought that had GW's Cadian Flesh with the Riekling wash over, and they look fantastic. So I like the Riekling wash. But okay, so this gets you basically started, and then from here you're going into the details, and that's where you look at these paints. So
the silver is for parts of the gun. The buttons, yes, I do. Whatever buttons I can get to, I do. Any buckles, anything like that. Black's mainly for the Y strap. Some details on some other stuff too, here and there.
Yeah, a lot of the leather was done in black for the German uniforms. There's some brown, but black is overall.
The pouches and the gun itself will be various shades of these. Again, I don't, because this is going to be weird because I normally paint like 5 at a time. So painting one guy is going to be weird because normally it's just kind of like I try and vary them up a little bit just to throw some flavor into them.
So it's beige brown, corn brown, cork brown, and chocolate brown. Okay, well those are good. I usually use flat brown with my rifles, but beige brown, I've got a lot of rifles with beige brown. That's a good base color, especially if you're going to wash it. Yeah. It comes out really nice. All right, the rest of the paints you see are just...
Well, I will wash most of the browns with one of these two.
What are they?
This is Gorgrunta Fur. It's a Citadel contrast paint, and this is Snakebite Leather. I'll thin them down to make them a wash, just to wash these. And this one will end up being darker than the Snakebite Leather. So it depends on which one of these I use. It will depend on which one of those I use. Okay. And these reds are just because I'm a psycho.
Oh, yeah, just in case he needs to put red details on.
He does. He has.
Oh, that's right. His collar patches get red.
I do my collar patch. For this, I'm doing all of the Germans out of this set with red and silver patches on their lapels.
Wow. Yes, he's going to pretty extreme, which, again, you're free to do or not. It's up to you. The blacks over there are just backups, more German gray, more black, just in case he runs low. And that covers all the paints he's going to be using. So let's go ahead and get set up, and he'll just start painting and walk you through the process.
Now, this guy has already been washed, but I'm going to show you basically what I do to wash it. I'm not throw a lot on him. So I just take, I don't know, I hope one of the two can see this. I'll just take like a couple dabfuls of the Known Oil. And I will actually
get some water.
Get some water and thin it way down. Because I don't need this to, I just need this to get in the cracks. I don't really, and then I just slather the whole thing. This is where painting 5 at a time helps, because
as one
dries, your assembly line, you're usually, by the time you get to your last one, it's dry. The way you can cheat, which I don't remember who I saw do this, but I saw somebody. I'm trying to think of who it was. I think it was the Mini Maniac. I used a hairdryer.
Really?
And I do have a hairdryer next to my paint station. Funnily enough, I don't use it that much unless it's just like one big model. So all I'm really doing is just making sure it doesn't pool up too much, like in the like the crack of his, like the bend of his elbow here and here, because sometimes, and I haven't really noticed it with this, but I haven't really started doing a lot. Sometimes I think it's probably because of a water softener, maybe. Sometimes my water will get, like, my washes, because of the water, I'm thinking it's the water, will get bubbles in it.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that's what it is. So I always just play with my wash and just move it around where I think it needs to go. And then we just wait for them to dry. You don't want to get too much in there to blow out some of the details. Well, unless you don't care about them. But again, I do. I'm a psycho. So then we just gotta wait for him to dry. So while we are waiting for him to dry, put him there. Hopefully something can see him. All right, we'll take the German gray. Actually, just a little bit there. And I'm gonna need the white eventually. So since I'm doing this now, I'm just gonna put a little bit of white out now.
Okay.
And take a brush. Get wet. You have no idea how hard this is not to wipe on my pants right now. And then we'll just load her up. And then we're gonna hit the helmet. Now this guy.
There you go.
Hit the helmet. I know this guy has a cover on his helmet, but I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're doing the straight German gray on this? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is just
That's
straight.
right.
This is straight German gray.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna go all over the helmet. Now you don't have to really avoid. Like this guy's wearing. I call them tanker goggles. I know they're not tanker goggles, but that's what I call them.
Oh, motorcycle goggles.
Motorcycle goggles. So you don't have to avoid this strap on here because you're going to paint over it anyway, but I do just, because that's kind of how I was taught to paint. If you're going to paint something a different color, don't put darker color over it.
Gotcha.
That's just, again, that's how I was taught, but I don't even remember who taught me that. But, and make sure, this is why handles are good, because getting the underside of the helmet.
Oh, right.
Where, again, I put way too much detail in my models for stuff that you can never see, except I know it's there. Like, okay, for a funny story, when I first, it was probably about 10 years ago now, first started coming up to the shop and playing 40K, when I built and painted my first batch of tactical marines, I painted them in parts. Like I put the legs together and I painted the legs. And as much as
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
And then like
so in sub-assemblies basically.
Yeah, and like I painted the torso without the backpack on, even though you weren't gonna see the stuff that's under the backpack. I had to paint it because, again, my theory is if somebody made that, you should paint it. You should treat it with respect. I don't do that. I quickly stopped doing that after I was told how dumb that was. Like, nobody's gonna see that. Well, I know it's there, and they're like, yeah, but you have arguments about stuff like that. I know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then just the boots. This guy's weird because the detail work on the boots up to the pants is just kind of all making together.
Oh, right.
I don't think my wash didn't do that. That's the way the model is. Again, I'm pretty sure he's got covers on his boots, but again, I don't care.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you can, in the later process, when you're doing details, you can always pick out the gaiters as a separate detail part if you really feel like it.
It wasn't until, I don't know, probably about halfway through that first batch of basically all the Germans that you've seen now on videos that I noticed something like that, and I was like, I don't care. The boot it's supposed to be black. They're German. They have black boots. As we jokingly call my Germans Hollywood Germans.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything that he's got is in the normal German gray, which was valid between July of 40 and middle of February of 43. And see, after that, they go into dark yellow with their vehicles, but they pretty much stayed the same color with their uniforms. This SS had some camo, but
I will never paint SS camo. I don't. I have models that I bought off somebody that are in SS camo, and I don't use them unless I have to. I don't like the SS camo.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, and it's nothing against him, but like nobody told me. Okay, that's all the German gray. Sorry.
So helmet and boots. That's it.
Helmets and boots. That's it.
Cool.
I could probably do other parts that I know is going to end up German gray, but I'm not going to because I don't care. And we just gotta wait for that to dry before you dry brush. You do not want to dry brush over wet paint. Oh my god, don't do that. I've done that before. Don't do that.
Yeah, it does mess it up real quick.
Um, yeah, so we'll wait a couple minutes and let this paint on the helmet's already dry. It's just waiting on these last parts of the boots that I got done to at least tensile up a little bit. I'm more worried about like here and up in here, but the helmet's already dry. So we just gotta wait a couple minutes.
Okay.
All right, it's gonna be dry enough. I don't think it's gonna mess it up too much. It should be. And it's boots anyway. I haven't figured out how I'm gonna base these guys, but if they're in mud, I'm gonna throw mud on the boots anyway, just because again, psychopath with detail. All right, now grab one of my crappier brushes. This is why I keep crappy brushes to mix. Oh wait. Pull a little bit of the white over, pull some of the German gray over, just get nice, not too dark.
Yeah, reminds me of Bob Ross videos. Yeah, because you know what? I don't do that. I mean, I don't do it that way. It's so easy to do it that way. Duh.
Now, one thing that I did learn, I have yet to put it in practice, and because I don't have anything to practice it on. And for one model, this is more than enough. I don't actually make too much, but that's fine.
That's definitely light gray.
Or
well, it's a medium gray, but yeah.
If you want to get good marble effects, I learned this from Doug. You do stuff like that on whatever you're painting, like the actual model itself.
Yeah, right.
Because then when it dries, it has that weird marbly effect. So.
Yeah, see if we can zoom in a little bit to see if you can see any of that marbling.
Well, that's not that bad because I mixed it quite a bit.
Yeah, no, but there's I can still see some from here. This new camera is not that good with details, so and focus it close up. So.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So then we're just gonna.
All right.
Run the dry brush through it. Pick up as much as I can.
Okay.
And this I have not been doing that often, or probably the past couple of years. I know you're supposed to use a paper towel, but I just use my towel because, again.
Oh yeah, that is used to be a white towel, right?
No, it was blue.
Oh, it was blue. It was blue. Okay.
I think you can see some of them.
I know my son has a white towel. It's slowly building up. Very pretty colors.
And I paint on my hands a lot too, just to test stuff. Okay.
I've seen a lot of people do that.
I don't lick my brushes though. That's so weird. And then I'm just gonna. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna lightly dry brush the whole thing. It's gonna make everything lighter. And on the raised stuff.
So you're not pushing hard into it. You're brushing
not even
top
pushing
of
it at all. I don't.
Turn slightly to the left. I think there you go. Yeah,
that's right. But you want me to turn to the left?
You turn. That was your left. Turn to the left. Yeah, you did right. You did properly.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can see you passed your hand now.
You don't put any pressure at all. I mean, you can. The trick to dry brushing is to have what look like no paint on the paint, the actual edges of the bristles, is what I have found. I'm sure. Again, go watch somebody way more accomplished than me, and they will tell you how to properly do this. I do it, and I get the effect I want, so I'm happy with it.
And that's what matters. Yeah.
So these are still.
So essentially, you're lightening primer gray that's already on the model and adding some highlights to the German gray.
Yeah, because I've washed the primer gray, it darkens it quite a bit. This is just to pick out details, and so it doesn't. It makes it'll pop the folds in the sleeve. That's the word. On the back of the boot here, I don't know if you can see that there's the back of the gator. With the zipper part.
Oh, right.
When it was just all German gray, you couldn't see that, but this actually pops it out. That's how you can tell. If you didn't know this was a cover on this helmet, once you dry brush it, you'll actually see cloth folds in it. But again,
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Again, I don't. The only ones that I'm probably gonna do a little bit different. I'm probably gonna use on the new ones, and I didn't grab one on purpose because it would take too long. The netting I'm actually probably gonna do on this set of Germans because the other ones all my helmets are bam gray.
Yeah.
Okay, so and that's that. You don't really have to let dry brush dry because it's dry.
Yeah, pretty much dry as
it entails. So then we take our pale flesh. And I have one bottle that is not.
Mm-hmm.
It just. We'll just see when I get to the silver because my silver is like that. What it does. Again, I'm a creature of habit, so load the brush up. Good.
Yes.
Okay. Just pull down. Now this is the only thing that sometimes I may have to one hand. At least it's faced. Because everything is so dark underneath it, and even with the dry brush
right.
to lighten it up, you may need 2 coats on this. This pale flesh is a little bit thin. I don't mind. There's some. Sorry, I'm moving around. There are some paints that are thin that I don't mind. Like ironically enough, Duncan Rhodes is 2 thin coats. I have a couple of his paints. And it, like I find his yellow paint. I don't remember which one because I think there's a couple shades. But whatever yellow I bought, I don't have to do 2 thin coats of it. It is a really vibrant yellow that will pop off on. That just pops off on anything. But I think it's just a local brand. Cuttlefish colors.
Oh, those are the shop, right?
I think Mike has them. They were at um, the guy that formulated and made the paint works at the other shop over at Zeke's.
Oh, okay.
Or he used to. I don't know if he still does. All right, so we'll have to fix that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. If you need to, you can always go over and touch up your paint. That's every time. Every modeler has done that.
Yeah, don't let those big fancy guys on YouTube just do this stuff and don't do stuff like what I just did. Yeah, they do. They have to still do stuff like that.
They have to make mistakes like us.
They just have a good editor.
That's true. They probably do.
But cuttlefish colors are like they're base coats that are thinner than washes, and I don't like because the guy that made cuttlefish, he prefers to paint in like really thin multiple layers for one thing, and I'm like no.
Mm-hmm.
Elisa has a couple of his paints, and she tried to get me to use them, and I'm like, All right, so yes, even though nobody's going to see this, I'm still going to paint the backside of his hand.
Oh yeah, I do the same thing.
I will leave that. All right, there's one more hand. The other bad habit that I have is I can't paint with my glasses on. I think it's because of the bifocals screwing me up too much.
Gotcha.
So the other thing that really helps with painting, I will say, because normally I'm not sitting here on video talking, is I have random stuff on in the background.
Just noise.
Just noise. I
mean like my videos.
Some of them, yes. Some of them, yes. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them, yes. There was, I think the last time I painted one of the ones I wasn't in that. There was like Elisa, and I don't remember. I think she was playing you.
Yeah. Yeah, one was she was supposed to be playing against Joker. I took over.
Yeah, I have that on. Sorry, I'm just getting the butt of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
I had because she wanted to watch it, and I'm like, you don't want to do that. You're gonna see all the mistakes you made. You're gonna make you mad because that's what happens with me. Um, she was watching that, so I was just like, I'm gonna go paint. But normally, like two. So I don't know if you can see that, or if you want me to step closer.
No, I think you're fine.
So if you look like on his neck, it's you can see the gray through it, as opposed to like his face.
Mm-hmm.
So even I gotta fix that a little bit. That's what I'm talking about. So this is a little bit thin. So I mean, you could leave it like that. I did that on a couple of the early ones that I did with this, and it makes them look a little bit dirty. Which I'm honestly gonna just leave it like that, and just throw the wash on it, or you can tighten it up to just throw another thin coat over it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna fix his face at least. Dirty neck. But my normal two go-tos are I will watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy,
Oh wow! I can't watch movies and do painting. I get distracted.
all I'm gonna do right now is just grab a little bit of this dry brush,
The gray
the
color.
dry brush gray, and just fix this collar.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a collar, it's gonna be elevated a little bit. See that? And I'm gonna see this model on the table, and I'm gonna get irritated at it. There we go. Ta-da! Fixed.
Yeah.
Don't see those on paper.
So already you've got three colors on the model. You got your primer gray, which is dry brush to lighter, medium gray. You got your German gray, and you got your flesh tone. That's three colors. It's ready for the table as is.
The Depticon ready, three tables,
Exactly.
three colors.
A lot of the events they require a 3-color minimum. Here you go, and it honestly doesn't look that bad as it is. But of course, we're not going to stop here because we do want it to look really good.
Passing all right. All right, so now put it down because I need both hands. Just grab the Reichland Flesh Shade, and then this is a delicate process. It's not, but get brushfuls up, and then take about a quarter to half of it off. Just and then it's just like the wash. Just slap it on. This is what I do. I just slap it on. Anything flesh toned. And then you don't want it to pool up too much. Pulling up in the eyes doesn't really matter.
Right.
Because that's how you can get away with not painting eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you hit every flesh part.
Mm-hmm.
And then find it on your palette because your palette's a mess.
Yeah.
And then just hit the hands. Just on that side. Underneath side over here that again nobody's gonna see, but I know is there. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you know, I hope you can see it. Like with the flesh shade, I mean, it's not dry yet, but like his neck looks dirty now, and I mean that's kind of cool. It's an unintended effect of the way that I paint is hey these because like I noticed like they're in war, right? They wouldn't be clean. Like everybody, it's all clean and clean shaven, and it's like nobody's like that. And then the good thing about washes like this, they dry extremely fast.
That's true.
And that's the flesh. So again, it picks out like in between the fingers.
Yeah, it looks good.
Picks out his face.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we'll take a quick look at the model in the condition it's in right now, and then we'll go into the next step. Look at the details. So now that we got everything washed, the flesh washed, and your base colors, now we're details.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with the gun because it's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. The most obvious of the details.
Yes, the most obvious. Using the maroon, the beige.
Beige brown, yeah. Again, just putting a drop on the wet palette. Nothing special here, just
Not mixing with anything, just straight on here. And I'm just gonna cover just the gun. So I'm gonna do the strap a different color just because.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I tend to use flat brown on all the straps, and flat brown or brown beige with the rifle.
And I just paint the whole rifle. I will sometimes leave like the. You can tell me what that part is. The part in between, next to the action, the bolt, like that part there.
Oh yeah, that's the chamber.
Okay.
And that actually, yes, you start with a dark or very dark base, so you can do that by just painting the wood parts. I generally use a gray primer on everything, so and I don't do the wash like you do. So I have to paint the whole rifle red, brown, and then go back with the gunmetal to do it. So you actually save a step by having a dark coat and then just painting the brown.
Yay! I saved time.
Well, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea how many infantry models were in that box.
Which one is this? War Games Live? No, this is Warlord. That's 30.
There's only 30 in there?
I think so. They usually do 5 screws of 6.
Okay. I mean, you built them. I didn't.
Yeah.
I just paint them.
That is a good point.
You built them. I just got.
That's right. I built all your German.
You built them. I just got to find space for all of them.
Now, I know that feeling.
So, funny story. We were up at Adepticon and bought a brand new bag, battle foam bag, full of the brim, and then a bunch of battle foam.
Mm-hmm.
And for Elisa and all her extra fins she has.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting at home Saturday after we got home, and she was like, well, I was like, I'm going to paint. I have this big paint project I'm working on. Not my Germans, oddly enough. And now, I don't know, because I'm not historically accurate, I don't know where the wood stops, but I just kind of do what I do to all of them. And I have a finished one here just so I can make sure, because it's been a while since I painted Germans.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure I did that wrong. You can take a look at that one, the finished one, and tell me I did it wrong.
Oh, no. Actually, you're not far off. Yeah, just it's a little bit too much black on the front of the barrel. Just too much. It's about half again as long as it should be.
Okay.
That's no big deal.
Now
it looks great, and you had to look at it closely to see that difference. So again,
just
don't need to be detailed or
just
too detailed.
Taking some straight German gray,
okay,
and doing the parts of the metal parts of the gun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the German gray will be a contrast to the darker black.
Well, yes and no.
You did dry brush it a bit, so you're actually darkening some of the sections, right?
Yeah, because everything gets dry brushed. When I dry brush, I don't.
Right.
Like I said, I haven't been dry brushing that long. So I'm getting better at dry brushing specific spots. But if I'm gonna dry brush something, I would generally just dry brush the whole thing at once because it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
Okay. So at this stage, we've got the uniform, the flush, and the rifle done, which is really, I'm standing 3 feet away right now, and I can see that on the model. You don't really need anything else. So if you want to take a look at how long the video is right now and add 2 minutes of dry time that was not filmed, that's how long you can get your single model painted to this level. Now, if you're doing a batch of 5, like Dave normally does, you end up during all the drying times that whether it's on video or off video, you're painting something else. So
Yeah.
you're getting things done pretty fast. Okay, what's next?
I'm gonna take the. Got these in such a weird order. Granted, because my desk is a mess. This is the cork brown.
This is the lighter brown. Think along the lines of German camo beige.
What I used to honestly do when I do this on some of my MCB models, I will mix like one part this to like 5 parts of my pale flesh, just to give the flesh a little bit of
tan
to it.
Really? Oh.
All right, this is going on the strap. I know it's probably not supposed to be this color, but again, we don't care.
No, that's good. You're basically highlighting.
I'm painting the whole thing.
Oh, you're painting the whole thing. Okay. Yeah. Well, it gives you a good contrast between the weapons, wood, and the leather.
Now, some things I don't know about on these guns, and I've never asked. Again, no way. So I'm guessing this is some type of buckle or something in the middle of it.
Yeah, but it's blued just like the rifle is. So
Blue.
the rifle barrel. No, sorry. Blued is the heat treating and corrosion resistance on this. So all the brass fittings that the buckles, or sorry, that the straps connect to, are a very dark, almost a black.
Well, again, that's what they're supposed to
be. Yep.
It's not what they're gonna be.
And if you do hit them with a like a silver highlight, just on the edge and stuff, it looks like they've been nicked up and roughed up a bit.
No, I think the whole thing's silver.
That works.
Do that on this. Okay. Now this is where the weird detail stuff comes in. This is just random stuff.
So what color did you just pick up?
It's the same color.
More cork brown. Okay.
Yeah, cork brown.
I can see your...
Sorry, I missed a spot.
Oh, there you are. Okay, gotcha.
All right. I do the shovel, this leather bit. I'm guessing it's leather. Again, I don't.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's
the thing that the shovel snaps into.
It's the cover, the shovel cover, shovel blade cover, and that can be leather. It's often canvas, and there's a number of colors you can go with there.
This is just to add some. Sure, it's brown, but it's still the splash of color that I like to put.
Yeah, well, you're doing a bit. There you go.
Right.
I gotta make sure.
I'm trying to get to where I need to go with my brush.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of detail, contrast, and it helps make it stand out a little bit.
Everything that I do, thinking about it, it's cool enough. I'm gonna take some. We'll go back to German gray real quick. Something. I do the knife sheath.
Okay.
In German gray.
All right.
Just because. Just straight German gray.
Yep.
I wish they would, since they have so many new rules for like unarmed models. I wish they would make a kit of armed stuff.
Yep, that would be nice. Yeah, actually, German gray makes an excellent black that looks a little bit weathered. So whether it's for boots, I use German black on my British boots too. But yeah, the bayonet frog will work as well. Most black things.
Where did I see that? I saw what did I miss? No, I just lost it. Oh well. All right. We'll grab the right there on my mark. Grab the chocolate brown. White brown. If not, that's what this guy's gonna have. Again,
yeah, it's a very dark brown.
I tend to just do the randomness of this, so he
Mhm.
will kind of look like everybody else, but kind of not. I'm gonna do his chin strap in this color.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Let me know if I need to move anything. And this is just patience and doing this.
Yeah. And this
Hobby
is where you
for-
get that detail brush. Now, is this the Psycho detail? No, this is your regular detail brush.
My regular detail brush.
So this is the Army Painter
Army Painter
detail brush.
Like
Is it precise? Does it say precise detail? I forget.
Nope.
It just says detail. Okay. Yep.
And then I'm gonna hit the strap on his goggles.
Oh yeah, that would be too. Yeah, again, because it's on a essentially a black German gray base, it's gonna pop a little bit more.
This is patience and doing this for way too long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And each of these detail steps are optional.
Completely optional.
Yeah. Like I said, once you got the rifle painted, your model was pretty much ready for the table.
I'm not. This is one of the bad things. I'm not going to clean my brush.
Okay.
And I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes I do that too.
I'm gonna go back into the cork brown.
After using which color?
The chocolate brown.
Okay, yep.
You can't really see it on this guy, and I may have to have you grab me another model. The big pouch on the back.
Yes.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna hit with that because.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good color. And that's underneath the mess tin. So it adds a color behind the detail part. That's kind of nice. Gives some layers to the model.
I may see if any of the guys on the windowsill
Mm-hmm.
have the other box on their back.
Mm-hmm.
They do?
Yeah, and you painted it the chocolate brown.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
Yep.
You know, I'm not even going to clean that. Wipe some of the excess paint off. Let me see that. Let me see what I actually did with it. I mean, I saw it. Oh, I did. Okay. Alright. This is the other thing. This is why it's easier to paint 5 at a time, because then
They're all the same, yeah.
they're all the same. They're all in the same space.
Yep.
But drop that.
And in this case, you could also go with
Yes,
German camo dark green or honestly black. And this is one of the things you might put a little bit of edge highlighting on with silver to make it look chipped. Because it is mess tin.
Now, when you talk about this, I don't. I'm finally cleaning my brush. I don't edge highlight because I do not like the way it looks. And that comes from. I'm picking up some of my light gray. I got a little bit on the canteen I need to fix.
Yeah.
From 40K. I hated. No,
Yeah.
the way that.
The way they did their edge highlighting.
Yeah, it makes it look cartoony.
Right. You're right. It is. When I say edge highlighting, I'm thinking specifically putting some silver paint on the edges that are exposed to simulate wear.
Laying down. We're gonna pick up some German gray. This is straight German gray.
Okay.
I think. And there might be a little bit of white in it. I can't tell because I don't wear my glasses. And we're gonna hit this strap down the middle of this thing.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. That's actually a pretty good thing to do because it's a leather strap, so it's like the black leather that his Y harness would be.
And we're gonna hit the strap on the canteen as well while I'm on the back side. This is weird being this hyper focused on what I'm painting. I just want you to know that. Okay. That's done. Alright. I'm gonna grab my black. Matte black from Army paint. Please be the good bottle. I don't even need that much. But, alright, we're going to do two things with this. Okay. One's a little weird. One, we're going to do the Y strap. Yeah, good?
Yep.
And on some of these, and it is a torso by torso basis. Some of, and I don't know why, but some of them are more raised than others.
Yes, I've noticed that. Oh, even on the new kit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Almost on the wrong point.
On the old kit, that happens too.
The old kit, I think it was more on the ponchos. They were more set in on the ponchos.
I got you.
Don't quote me on that, but I think. All right, now these do come around the front. I learned that. I don't remember where I learned that from, but you can see them where it comes.
Yep. Comes straight down to the belt.
I'm not gonna be able to get to the belt.
Oh, that's good. You probably don't need to.
No. That side. I also probably, in all honesty, at some points, will put too much paint on my brush, but again, that's just the way I've always painted. And I know it's probably gonna be hard to see just because of the way I have to hold this thing.
Yep.
Straight up through there. Anything else needs to be black. I might just a little bit, just because. That's fine, because that's so dark. All right, and then I think that. Oh, I know what else I was gonna do. I'm gonna hit the goggles with this. Just
with what color?
Matte black.
Matte black. Okay.
Just so they stand out a little bit.
Gotcha. Yeah, so a little bit darker against that gray. And actually, when you put matte black on top of the German gray, you can see how gray German gray really is.
Yeah, it's the only time you can see that.
That's true. Yep.
And I'm just covering the whole thing. I'm gonna go back in and do the lenses. I'm just painting over the whole thing. All right. Okay. That should be good. Now, man, my hand. This is normally my pen. Now my hand. All right, I'm gonna take the Gorgrunta. I need to put you this. I actually need to see what I'm doing. Two bad things. All right. All right. You good?
Yeah.
All right. Take a big brush. A little dollop of that. Two. Just come nice and thin. Get this out a little bit. A little light. Grab some water. Thin it down. It's a little thick. And this is all about just. I can't tell you how to make a wash because it's all about. Honestly, it's about feel.
You just keep diluting it with water until it's right in your eyes.
Yes. Most washes, I will say, the thinner the better because you can always do it again.
Yeah, if you do a wash and you think it's okay, but it turns out it's not, what you're going to have to do is, after you put it on, you got to get another clean brush, probably a larger brush, and try to wipe as much as you can off.
I think we're good. Now we're going to wash. I'm just going to wash all the brown with this.
Okay.
This will put detail. Tricky part, at least on the gun, is not getting it on the hand.
That's right.
But again, with practice and this is, let's say, light enough. That's probably not the right word. Like on the gun, you don't have to worry about getting it on the German gray. It's not really going to show up.
Right.
So I don't care. That. And all this does is, again, just add the nice shade to it, pop out the details. All right, and we're going to hit the shovel cover.
Oh yeah, it's fair about that.
It looks weird if it's not. Thing with Gorgonta is it is a little. It's like a red brown.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't like the red brown, or like, and it looks a little different when it dries, but the snake bite is more of a tannish brown,
You could use Riekling though if you wanted to, couldn't you?
I suppose.
Okay, I don't know what I'm not familiar with those paints. Oh, but Riekling is a wash, whereas Snakebite and this or whatever is a contrast paint, so it is slightly different.
But I have thinned it down to a wash
That's
consistency,
true.
so
Yeah.
you could, but I that's the only bottle of the old Reichland I have, so I'm very.
He is sparingly, yeah.
Yes. We'll hit this. This strap on the helmet you gotta be a little bit careful with, just because nothing's been done to it other than dry brush, and the dry brush parts will pick up this.
Mm-hmm.
But since it's contrast paint, for the most part, it sticks where you want it. So that just adds a little. Looks weird. I'll just deal with it. And the best thing about contrast paint is, so I just we started on the gun,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time I got down to put a second coat of this on here, the gun's already dry.
Oh, that is nice.
And yeah, that's that. So, like I said, you can see like the wrinkles in this better.
Mm-hmm.
Big blob of contrast paint in this hole and this hole. I mean, you can leave it in there; nobody's gonna know it's there. But all right, now the last thing we will probably do, because I'm not gonna go full psycho mode and do his eyes, just because that would probably be hard to do on camera, just because of the way I have to hold the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Take this Game Color Silver and hope it works today.
It's putting on a wet palette right now. Yep.
I need. Oh, yeah, safety. Or a push pin.
Nope.
You grab a push pin out of the wall.
That's true.
This didn't bring any toothpicks because I'm an idiot.
There you go. Oh yeah.
There you go. Right. Come on. There you go. This is probably the thickest silver I've ever used, and I like it like that.
Oh yeah, the Game Color Silver is thick. Yeah, I do like it too, because you can get it a little bit thinner if you needed to.
Yeah. I don't know what you can do stuff like this and get a little bit thinner.
Oh yeah, he's adding water to the
to
the blob of it to thin it out.
Just to make it more. I need a finer point on my brush.
Mm-hmm.
What stupidity I'm about to do. And if like I was the fan for the longest time of like lead belcher. I mean, you add a little bit of black to that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's lead belcher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we do the compass, because I'm sure that's what that is.
His wristwatch, you mean?
No, on the rifle.
Oh, there's a rifle.
With the little circles.
Oh no, that's a cartouche. It's just a decoration on the butt of or stock of the gun. Yep.
It's
usually brass, but
tell me stuff like that. I'm gonna have to go back.
No, you don't. It looks great.
It hit the little buckle where the one side connects to the rifle.
Yep. So again, these real tiny details, you don't have to do them if you don't want to. But if you feel up to it, it's the next level of your painting.
This on this side. Water in that. Using my point. The other thing, the best tricks I would tell somebody, and I never really understood why people did it until I watched. I'm just gonna hit like buckles on this.
Oh, the buckles on the this kit.
And the buckle on the strap on the
Oh, on the canteen.
Canteen.
Huh.
I'm gonna hit the, not really defined on this one, but there's a center.
Oh yes, in the where the three pieces of the Y harness meet, there's an O-ring.
There's a couple little buttons there too.
Oh.
You can't really see on this guy because, of course, I grabbed one that had a crappy Y strap. And I'm just going to go around and pick out what buttons on him I can get to.
Okay.
I don't know how you want to know.
Yeah.
It's like he's got the buttons on the front of him. There's a button here. There's a, what do you call those things? Clasp or something there.
Mm-hmm.
Covering up that other button. Then I'm going to hit silver in eye holes of this.
Oh yeah, the lenses of the goggles.
But as I was saying, I never really understood why people did this, so I never did it because I didn't understand it. So I was watching I believe it was a Duncan Rhodes video. When you pull through your paint of twisting the brush, you sound dumbfounded over there.
Nope, I understand it.
Because like when you do,
now let's take a look at what that looks like. In the silver?
Yeah. Probably not the best color to do it through.
No, that's okay.
But what it'll do is, well, I did it that time because the brush started blowing out a little bit. It'll put a nice point on it.
Whoops, I gotta find, there it is.
Nice, so that way it makes it easier to do, like get into itty bitty places like there. And he is
all those little silver spots. Yeah.
Okay. I need to grab another model real quick so you can see which one goes where. Okay. Now the other thing that I'm doing with specifically this arm, he's got, for some reason he's only got it on one side because the details are blown out. I think he's got these little lapel patches. This one I'm doing silver.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, the silver piping around the edge. Good.
And then I need to get some red. Now, this Vallejo red, and I'm not 100% happy with because it's kind of thin. So I have a thicker red.
Well, that's the express color. I haven't used those yet.
Is that like their contrast paint?
I don't think they go that route.
Okay. It was a red, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, I need a red.
Yeah.
So I will mix it with a thicker, like, normal red. Just to make it, I mean, it makes red, but red's red. Well, okay, it's not, but.
Yeah. Just get the red you like. You can see I was twisting the brush to get himself a finer point.
Need it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're just going to hit the other little patch thing. Again, stuff you don't have to do, but.
Yep.
And I mean, I could do the eyes, but I'm not going to do the eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was going to show, just because it's fun to do. Okay. This is a completely optional detail.
Okay.
I'm going to take some German gray. Over here. I'm not going to find it there. We'll put it in the yellow. Take some water. Take some more water. A little bit more water.
The 5 o'clock shadow?
The 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
Again, this is more. Yeah, that's good. Alright. Take this. I'm gonna start like, I'm just gonna follow the chin strap.
Right.
All the way across, underneath the nose.
Yeah.
And back up. This will take a couple coats, but I mean you can already kind of see it.
Yeah, but those couple coats is easier than putting on one. Trying to take off what you put on. Yeah. Now, when it's wet, it looks darker than and heavier than it's going to end up. So don't worry if it looks a little bit too dark.
And again, you don't have to do this, but it's just, I mean, you could even You could even probably get away with if you wanted to. Like I've thought about this, but I haven't. Like, yeah, it's pretty much dry.
Mm-hmm.
Doing like
Yeah, looks good.
like a brown to like put dirt on the face or something. But yeah, and that's model's done.
Yep.
Just needs to be based.
Right.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on a second. I forgot.
Oh.
This,
missed a spot.
There's a little buckle. Again, that's just me being me.
Yep. So if you're not that detail oriented, you don't need to do this stuff. But if you do, you've added another half hour to your model. That's not a big deal.
And most of that's just patience.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I got this process down to where I can, in like probably like, if I'm not distracted, an hour and a half, I can knock out 5.
Really?
But yeah, that's.
So he's all done. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at him, and then we'll wrap this video up. All right, so that's an easy way to quickly paint your army. If you think about it, the second half hour of this video was really about painting all the details, and those are the optional parts. So it doesn't take as much time to paint a model as you might normally think if you take this approach. Real simple, get your spray primer out, get a wash, and then a couple colors to get some base coats. Flesh, in the case of Germans, the German gray, and a little bit of white.
I mean, you can do this. I'm thinking
rifle brown.
The 2 armies I think of the other army that I own that's not been given to him yet to build is my Japanese. I'm probably gonna do the same thing, and we can do a video for that when I get around to them. I'm just gonna do them the old my old Deathwing. I'm just gonna prime them all bone and then wash it and dry brush it up.
Yeah, that'll probably work out well too.
But you can do that. You can do it with Americans.
You can. You get a light green.
Wash it.
Wash it with a green. There's a lot of green washes out there. You
dry brush it back up. Hit the flesh tone.
And the rifle.
And the rifle, you're done.
And leather boots, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very easy to do. So you can take this approach with a lot of different armies to get your stuff painted quickly and get it on the table. Now, again, this is a simple approach. It's especially geared for those who are just getting into the painting or trying to get back into the painting. And you can take it from this point on and make it as complicated or as good as you want and become an expert painter if you wanted.
And the other thing is, like, if you take the last half hour where the details, take that first however long it was, say half hour, and you cut that in half because I have to sit there and explain everything that I'm doing. Unless
that's true.
Unless you're like talking to yourself, I suppose.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
But again, like I said before, it's like when you're working on several models at a time. As soon as you finish the next one, you go into the next one, and the time that Dave spent waiting for certain pieces to dry or putting paint on the palette, all that is done once, and so you're getting more models done per minute, or we'll call it per half hour, than it would never necessarily seem in that first half of this video. But it's a good way to start. I kind of wish I had known this when I first started, because I would have got my stuff done a lot faster.
I doubt it. You're too historically accurate. And
well, on that, what I will do is I will put a link in the description to Artisan Models painting guides for all the different armies, so you can get what I call the correct colors.
Okay.
But remember, make it look like, use the colors that look right to your eyes.
Yeah.
Unless you're like me and go crazy with the specific colors.
This man is repainting how many tanks because you have the wrong shade of green on them?
I repainted all of my Polish tanks and my artillery pieces and my tankettes and my trucks because I finally found the right color mix for purplish green.
See, you would know, and I mean, at some point, if you want to do another, we do another one of these. I bought one just in case. Vehicles are so easy because you just prime them gray. You wash the heck out of them. Probably twice, in all honesty. I don't even dry brush the tanks. I just leave them dirty and somewhat splotchy because then it looks like wear and tear on it. And then I'll take my dark gray, my German gray. I will do the front and the back of the tracks, the parts that you actually see. I don't do the bottom. I'm over that phase of my life. I will on some of them. Like I'm looking at a T38 over there or 38T. I don't remember.
And just 38T. Yeah.
I don't even know if like I did the edge like that's on the bottom or the up next to the tank itself. The treads. I don't know if I even did those. If I just did the front and the back, and I could add some silver on there like some of my other tanks, but otherwise it's done. And that takes.
Yep.
You spend longer mixing up your wash than you do painting the thing.
Yeah. And most of the Allied vehicles are that way too. Now, ignoring those vehicles that actually have a camo scheme. Okay, just looking at the Allied Northwest Europe that were just the olive drab or the British green, the Soviet greens and olives, obviously the German grays. Those are, you can do all those armies with a quick wash after the base coat primer. Some of those actually Vallejo makes the color for that. But German gray is a little lighter than the quote correct color for German tanks, but if you take his approach and do a little bit of the dry brushing. Go ahead. What I'm saying is
bat reps, but
yeah, you can get your use the the Vallejo Panzer Gray as a primer. Fantastic. It's a nice dark color, and then you can dry brush you wash it first and then dry brush it to kind of with the German gray to kind of brighten up some parts of it. Looks fantastic at that point.
So this is just primed. That's all it is.
Yeah. That's primed with a plain old
uniform gray. Same gray as it's called. It's Army Painter's uniform gray. It's the same gray that primed the soldier in. And honestly, I looked at this. I haven't even done the track on this. This is just a wash all over the whole thing.
Yep. So here's the two side by side.
So you can see how much it darkens. The wash darkens it. And like I could go in and
and that looks beautiful. Doesn't need to have anything else done to it except decals and all the stuff that I love doing.
But I mean, like I've been using that one on the table, both of them on the table for a while now, and I mean, that's all that is. I could seriously go in. I probably won't because I have so much other stuff to do. Like I could do the exhaust and the mesh part back here. Maybe like my other tanks, I did I call them the hubcaps.
Oh yeah, the sides of the road wheels.
But I don't need to.
Yeah, they look fine. So you don't have to be super meticulous to get your army on the table looking really good. And hopefully Dave is showing you one approach to do that. And I hope it inspires you to get your gray plastic, have some paint on it, and make it looking great on the table.
Even if it's gray paint.
Even if it is gray paint, that's right. All right, so with that, thank you for watching. Share, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.